Good morning friends. In the last lecture we have seen about there are two types of motion. One is called as uniform circular motion and another is called as non-uniform circular motion. Now we know the definition of the circular motion. With the help of that definition we can define the uniform circular motion. Means this is a type of circular motion in which the particle is moving with constant linear speed or angular speed. So the particle is moving in anti-clockwise direction with a constant angular velocity. So this is a representation of the uniform circular motion. While in case of the non-uniform circular motion, you will find the particle is moving along the circumference of circle, but angular speed or linear speed is not constant. So this is a non-uniform circular motion. For to distinguish the diagrammatic representation, you can write omega over here so that you will get idea about this. This omega, angular velocity, is considered constant. The angular speed, magnitude of the angular velocity. Okay. So if we compare the uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion, you will find this is the diagrammatic representation. Again you will find the definition for this. The circular motion in which the linear speed or angular speed of the particle remains constant, it is called as the uniform circular motion. So the circular motion in which the linear speed or the angular speed of the particle is variable, it is called as the non-uniform circular motion. So first point you can remember, that is a definition which is already we have explained here. So you will find this is the first point, that is the definition. Secondly, when we consider about the particle is moving in a circular motion, then we know, suppose this is the position of the particle, then you will find this is the direction of the linear velocity, this is the direction of the radius or the position vector. In case of this uniform circular motion or a circular motion, you will find there is radial or centripetal acceleration. Similarly, if we consider in this diagram, then you will find the position of the particle P, which is denoted here. This is the direction of the tangential velocity. The particle is moving like this is the position vector. Now here also the particle is moving in a circular fashion, so you can observe the radial acceleration is there. But you will find the difference is that in a uniform circular motion, the particle is moving with the constant linear speed or constant angular speed. So this radial acceleration, you can observe it is a constant. While here you can observe the particle or the speed of or the direction of the velocity goes on changing. We know when we consider about this radial acceleration, it is responsible for the circular motion. So here you will find it is also the radial acceleration, here it is also the radial acceleration in both cases. But here radial acceleration is constant, because speed is constant. Here speed is the variable, so you will find here the value of radial acceleration is not constant. It is not constant. You will find again, as the speed of the particle is not constant, there is the formation of the tangential acceleration. So you will find here the tangential acceleration is produced in the body, and this tangential acceleration is in the direction of the tangential velocity or opposite in direction to this tangential velocity, because the speed is variable. When the speed goes on increasing, this tangential acceleration is in the direction of tangential velocity, and when the speed decreases, then this tangential acceleration is opposite to the tangential velocity. And we know, in case of the uniform circular motion, this tangential acceleration is 0. Tangential acceleration is 0. So you will find here, because of the variable speed, the one more tangential acceleration you can observe in the direction of tangential velocity or opposite to it. In case of uniform acceleration, uniform circular motion, tangential acceleration is 0. And the fourth point, you can remember the example related to this. In case of uniform circular motion, we have seen the motion of moon. We have seen motion of moon around the earth. While in case of non-UCM, we have seen that is vertical circular motion, that we have seen here. So you can remember, this is the main difference between the UCM and non-UCM. So in this diagram, if you want to show, then you will find this is the direction of this tangential acceleration, or it may be in this direction, which is a tangential acceleration. So these are the possible directions of the tangential acceleration in the non-uniform circular motion. Okay. Now here, when we consider about the two types of circular motion, that is a UCM and a non-UCM, you will find here the two accelerations are considered in case of the circular motion. So you will find, if we consider the linear acceleration, then linear acceleration has the two components. Now in this explanation here, if we consider A is the linear acceleration, then you will find there are two components of this. So if we consider, suppose this is the diagrammatic representation for this, then you will find here, suppose this is the radius or the position vector, this is the direction of the velocity, then we know the direction of this radial acceleration, it is along the radius towards the center of circle. The position of the particle is considered here, the center is considered as O, and the particle is moving along the circumference of circle. Okay, so the tangential acceleration is, suppose, along this direction. So you will find here, this is the direction of the tangential acceleration, maybe upward or maybe downward. Okay, so if you observe this radial acceleration and this tangential acceleration, they are always perpendicular, because we know the radius tangent perpendicularity theorem. So the total, this is a linear acceleration. It is called as the radial component. It is called as the radial component of linear acceleration, and this is called as tangential component of linear acceleration. So we will get idea about this. And this linear acceleration, it is nothing but the addition of these two. So also we have seen in case of uniform circular motion, this tangential acceleration is 0. So in case of UCM, okay, tangential acceleration is 0. Therefore, the total acceleration, linear acceleration, it is only of the radial or centripetal acceleration. Radial or centripetal acceleration. Now here we know these are the vectors. So suppose I want to find out the value of magnitude of acceleration. So from this formula we can find out magnitude of acceleration, and this magnitude of acceleration is A is equal to under root of AR square plus AT square. So you will find here this formula, that is A is equal to under root of AR square plus AT square. It gives the magnitude of the linear acceleration, which is in terms of the radial acceleration and the tangential acceleration. Okay, so you will get idea about this, that is two types, and the related acceleration which is observed in case of the circular motion. Okay. Now we are interested to explain the applications of the uniform circular motion. Already I have written the applications which we want to discuss here. The first application is given is a vehicle along a horizontal circular track. We want to find out the maximum speed of that vehicle, which is moving along horizontal circular track. Means the road is given in a circular track, circular form, but it is a horizontal one. It is a horizontal one. The second application is given well or wall of depth. We want to find out the minimum speed in this application. The third application is given as vehicle on a banked road. Now we know the banking of road, it is the concept which is a remedy for to move the vehicle with the maximum speed along a curved road. So this is the vehicle on a banked road. In this case, we want to find out these different speeds, that is a safe speed of the vehicle, maximum speed of the vehicle, and minimum speed of the vehicle. And the fourth application is given as the conical pendulum. We know what is meant by the pendulum, what is the simple pendulum, what is the seconds pendulum, what is the conical pendulum, and we are interested to find out the period of the conical pendulum. Okay, so we will start one by one here. So I want to explain the first application, that is a vehicle along the horizontal circular track. So for this application, we will form the one diagrammatic representation. The diagram is very important. So suppose here if we consider, say this is the circular track and a vehicle is moving along this circular track. So suppose here if we consider, let it be this circular track, and our vehicle is moving along this circular track. So you will find here, suppose if we consider like this, so this distance, it is considered as the radius of the circular path. Radius of the circular path. Our vehicle is considered here, and this vehicle is moving along this circular track. So this vehicle is considered as a single particle, and you will find here the certain forces are acting on this vehicle when it is moving along the horizontal circular track. Now this is nothing but the center of this circular path, which is represented as C. For the simplicity, we can show the same diagrammatic representation like this, which is given in the textbook. So here we can consider, suppose let C be the center of this circular track, and the vehicle is considered here like this. So these are the tire of the vehicle which is in contact with the road, and let us consider this is the vehicle. Now when we consider about this is the vehicle, you will find this vehicle is taken along the horizontal circular track. The road is taken as the horizontal one. So in this case, the different forces are acting on this vehicle, and the first important force, which is nothing but the weight of the vehicle, it is acting in downward direction. The second force which you will find, which is acting in vertically upward and perpendicular to the road surface, it is called as the normal reaction. So you will find when the vehicle is along the horizontal road, the two forces, one is the weight acting vertically downward, second is the normal reaction vertically upward. These are two forces balanced with each other. One is vertically upward and another is vertically downward. Again, still there is a one force which is acting like the static force of friction. Static force of friction. Now this friction that is between the tire, surface of tire and the road, and it is acting along this tangential direction. So if you observe in the diagram, then you will find the such three different forces which are acting on the vehicle, and we are interested to find out the maximum speed of this vehicle. Maximum speed of this vehicle. Now if we know all these are the diagrammatic representation, you can remember all the notations like this. In figure we can write N like the normal reaction, mg like the weight, Fs it is nothing but the force of static friction. In the second diagram you will find C is the center of the circle, R is taken as the radius of the circular track. We are interested to find out the maximum speed. So if you observe in the diagram, you will get the important two relations. Now which are these two relations? You will find here the first relation, that is normal reaction is get balanced by weight. So one is vertically upward, another is vertically downward. So we can say this is the equation number 1. That is, normal reaction is balanced with its weight. Secondly, if you observe this static force of friction, then this static force of friction is along the radius towards the center. Means if you observe in the second diagram, easily you can find out this force which is acting along the radius towards the center, and definitely this force is called as CPF, that is the centripetal force. That is the centripetal force. So this Fs, it is acting towards the center of this circular path, which is shown here also. So we can consider this Fs, it is nothing but the centripetal or the centrifugal force. Centripetal or centrifugal force. Now what is the role of this frictional force? It will prevent from skidding or slipping of the vehicle along the road, and we know the formula for the centripetal force, it is mv square upon r, or which is equal to mr omega square. Say this is equation number 2. Now you have the two equations from this diagrammatic representation. We are interested to find out the maximum speed of the vehicle. Now with the help of these two equations, we are going to find out the V, value of V, which you can observe here in equation 2. So we will take the certain processes. So here dividing equation 2 by 1 comma we'll get the division left hand side of equation 2 with the left hand side of equation 1. So you will get here Fs divided by N is equal to mv square upon r into mg is equal to mr omega square divided by mg. So dividing equation 2 by 1, you will get these are the steps. Now for this we can mention, suppose this is equation number 3. Now you will get these are the relations. Now from this relation you will find here, we want to find out this maximum velocity. So if we consider these two relations, then this maximum velocity is directly depends upon this force of static friction. Means if the force of static friction is maximum, then you can find out this maximum velocity. In the 11th standard we have find out about the frictional part. So with the help of the friction, that is a static friction, we know the relation. If it is the maximum, then this relation Fs maximum is equal to, it is a mu s into n. This relation already we have seen in the 11th standard. So this Fs, that is the static force of friction, it is a maximum which is equal to mu s into n. Now what is this mu s? We can say, suppose this is equation number 4, where this mu s, it is called as coefficient of static friction. Coefficient of static friction. Okay. So if you observe now equation 3 and 4 very carefully, I am going to use the first two ratios and I will find out the value of Vmax here. So from equation 3 and 4, if I take the ratio here, Fs max upon N, so you can put the value of mu s here. So for here, the first ratio I will make equal to the mu s, and here we can write Fs max and here we can write Vmax. So here from equation 3 and 4. From equation 3 and 4. From equation 3 and 4, what we can write? Fs max. So if it is a maximum divided by n, which is equal to mu s, which is equal to m v square max divided by r into mg. R into mg. Now if you observe here, then easily we can remove this m with this m, and if we take the cross multiplication of these two, so easily you can find out value of this. So you will find v max square, which is equal to it is mu r g. It is mu r g. So we can take the square root on both sides, and it will be the final equation, which is a very important. So you will get the final relation, that is v max is equal to under root of mu s r into g. So if you observe this relation, so this is very important relation, and by using this we can find out the maximum speed of the vehicle along this horizontal circular track. So it is the very simple explanation, and again from this equation it is clear that the maximum velocity is directly proportional to the mu s, which is called as the coefficient of static friction, because in this situation r and g are constant. R is taken as the radius of the circular path, and g is taken as the acceleration due to gravity. So we can say this is the expression for the maximum speed of the vehicle when it is moving along a horizontal circular track. Okay. Now we are interested to explain the second application of the uniform circular motion. Okay. Now if you observe the second application, the name of the application is written here, that is a well or wall of death, and in this application we want to find out the minimum speed. So first we want to draw the diagrammatic representation for this, so that you will get idea. So now we are interested to explain this second application, that is well or wall of death. We can draw the diagrammatic representation for this. Suppose if we consider, say this is wall or well, भिंत आहे किंवा विहीर आहे. Okay, so we can represent like this. So this is the lower part which you can observe. Similarly, we can show here the upper part, which is shown like this. So you will find this is the diagrammatic representation for the well or wall. Now when we consider about this, we want to find out the minimum speed. If we consider, suppose this is the vehicle, and this vehicle is moving along such a way that it can complete the horizontal circle. Means if this vehicle is moving, you will find here this vehicle is moving along this circular track, and definitely this circle, it is called as the horizontal.